Was it a matter of not wanting to necessarily tap in anymore to draft picks to make a move?
I guess that's part of it. There wasn't a lot of things that really happened that you kind of came out of left field, so you kind of knew where things were at. For the most part, you had an understanding of what the prices may or may not be for some different players. Again, you want to just you don't want to make a trade just for the sake of making a trade. If you're going to bring someone in, you got to make sure that, one, they're going to get played and they're going to fit. And, so as opposed to tapping into other assets, sometimes it's just best that, you go with what you have.
Right. We often hear this time of year, teams get put into one of two categories, buyers or sellers. And obviously it's not always that simple. When you're in the position that you guys are today, now 1 point out of that final spot, 18 games left, can you be a buyer and a seller in a market like that?
Well, I suppose you could if you wanted to be, but we were pretty much decisively buyers when it came to the thought process moving forward here. You are a little bit hamstrung when you've have the injuries that we do with respect to potentially maybe doing some hockey deals. You've got a couple of players that could be a week to 2 weeks away. So those you look to get into your lineup obviously sooner rather than later. That's the acquisitions that you're hoping for in some respects. But again, I certainly wasn't looking to take away from this group just for the sake of maybe picking up a late pick.
Sure. Those two moves you made, which we've talked about there, and I think you said they're to reward your players for where they are at in some ways. How do you feel about the way they've responded?
Well, certainly we looked at these deals even more than just reward. Again, I think both of these deals that we did make could have some potential long-term implications as well. So it's not, just a simple, rental for the sake of a rental type of thing. Again, I haven't been on the road, intimately watching, the group. But again, it's for us, I'm real proud of this group, the fight that they've put up and the fight that they've stayed in. I know that they're gearing up for Washington. It's not going to be an easy battle, whether we're 1 point out of it here today or whether we were 2 points up on it today. We've got some head-to-head games that are coming up against teams that we are fighting for, but all we're looking at and all we're going to focus on is the here and now, and that's what's really important. We'll deal with the different injury situations that we have as they all unfold as well.
How have the last two losses then, if at all, affected the way you went into today thinking?
It really didn't, I don't think. From that standpoint, we identified some areas that we wanted to try and get some players, and the players that I think moved today, we knew they were out there. That wasn't necessarily shocking in the sense of that who was out there or different players that were going to be on the market. Some of the prices obviously were very high in the sense, did we have that type of currency, to put into play into the marketplace? That's a different story. But as far as changing my thought process or changing the direction, we went into this understanding that there's no quick fixes, there's no immediate cure here. We've got to continue to fight, and we believe the players we added, will help us in that fight.
Given those injuries you talked about, and given where the team is in the standings, not for sure in, not for sure out, how did that sort of make this whole dynamic of this trade that much for you compared to others?
Yeah, it was different. We talked about that, as well. Obviously, the last two, we took big swings. We obviously, had the appetite to go after something that we thought was, going to fit. Again, you have to find the thing that fits, and you have to have the currency, and you have to have the appetite. All those three things have to align. And for 2 years in a row, we felt that. This year, the appetite was to try and do the two moves that we did. And going into today, knowing that again, we made those moves and understanding what the other fits might be, we were comfortable. If nothing else came to fruition, we were comfortable with where we're at.
Can you say whether Josh Morrissey is anything longer?
So it was an off day today, so they just did medical treatments. They didn't do any on-ice stuff or anything like that. So I guess, Paul usually gives the updates, but I would, classify Josh as a day-to-day right now, given what I know and given, me being here and them being there.
Kevin, was anybody sent down to the Moose so they're eligible for the AHL
So
playoffs?
we did make Shaw available, to the Moose, but he'll get obviously recalled right back to the Jets here today.
Just with trade deadline being passed now, is there any, when it comes to the Dustin Byfuglien situation, do you expect that to be rectified then shortly, or is there no rush to get it done?
There's obviously some different things behind the scenes. There's still, a work in progress there. Interestingly enough, Dustin essentially, made the decision not to play this year, and that essentially, kind of squashed anything that might happen for, someone to maybe put them in their lineup this year. We can still trade him at any point in time, with respect to, the future as well. So it's still a work in progress.
Just on that, Kevin, have you been able to get any I think when we talked around Christmas time there in Denver, the idea of not playing for a full season and a player being suspended for that full season, does that count towards one of those 2 years remaining on his deal, or does somehow that slide and he'd still have 2 years left?
Yeah, I think that would be our choice if we wanted to go down that path. If we wanted to push a tolling type of situation, that's what they call it, that would be our choice.